All right. So we're gonna react to Academics. He's supposed to be responding to Ebro because apparently Ebro said something about Drake fans. So let's see what Academics got to say about this.
I've told you, it's. I think the position Ebro holds in hip hop, he shouldn't have that much opinion about music. Honestly, I don't think it's fair because Ebro takes his personal biases and he uses a position in the company, which is Apple Music. But if you don't know,
that's literally what you do. You use your bias opinions on your channel. So what are you talking about? You do the same thing.
Global head of hip hop. I want to highlight that. Global head of hip hop, Apple Music. That person is Ebro Darden. Okay. Now here's the thing. Shout out to my man Carl Cherry over at Spotify. He's an editorial guy that is kind of like in charge of most of their music playlists. That's my guy. He realizes having that power where these artists do rely on Spotify and Apple Music, he needs to be neutral and impartial. He needs to remove his personal feelings out of things, and he needs to do his fucking job. It's Spotify's playlist, not Carl Cherry's playlist. He understands that. The thing with Ebro is that Ebro believes that because they've empowered him as the global head of hip hop, it's his show. So it's not Apple Music's view of hip hop, it's his view of hip hop. And I've always thought that's just very wrong for a company of that size and magnitude in the music game to be thinking like that. So basically, what am I saying? If Ebro don't like you as a musician, you're fucked. He's not platforming your music. He's not going to put your music across. If he doesn't respect you, he's not going to. No, he's personally using this to push what he likes. And Apple Music is supporting this. Now, during the battle, Kendrick and Drake, Ebro referred to Drake as a cancer. He referred to him as a cancer. Okay?
And what's
He
wrong
says he's
with
a sickness. Listen to this.
Not that important. Kendrick, the reason Drake's in this is because he is a sickness in the game.
Now, remember what I just said about the global head of hip hop? If the global head of hip hop at pretty much the biggest DSP, we don't know their full numbers, but it's Apple, my nigga. Apple Music, the guy who runs and directs where hip hop, how it's seen, how it will be promoted on the platform, how it will live. If that person thinks what the fans are saying is the biggest rapper, Drake, is a sickness to hip hop, what do you think that manifests to? I don't want to answer that question. That might be above my pay grade, but you guys can surely speculate. When the person that they have given global head of hip hop is saying that this guy's a sickness to hip hop, what do you think his powers is? What do you think he could do? I don't want to speculate. Nevertheless, his opinions and his, complete unilateral support for anyone who's going against Drake, i.e. Kendrick, has been pronounced. He's not ashamed to say it. And people haven't really taken him to task. Not necessarily that he can't have an opinion, is that he's doing this while he's in this position. If he wasn't in this position, nobody would care. Because his voice isn't that loud. However, the position that he has is that important. I've said previously when he tried to take me to task, I don't want to go back and forth with somebody who has that much power in the game. We've had words here or there. We did run into each other at Barclays. And the conversation was, I seen him, I'm like, what up, nigga? He said, what up? We're media personalities. Nobody, I'm not slapping nobody. He ain't doing nothing. I don't know if he might say that to the public because a lot of these guys act like they're tough guys. And they usually say, oh, we'll never see you. Well, we saw each other. I said, what up? He said, what up? He walked past. That's it. Cool. Now, this idea that he doesn't like Drake or, he has this particular view of what that entails. It culminated, and let me see if I can find it. Ebro, I think he had some opinions about Drake, and let me see if I could find what these opinions were. And Bass actually spoke out about it. This was his opinion.
I'm not even talking about certain people. I'm talking about Drake. I'm not talking about people who are fans. I'm talking about studied craftsmen who are great at contributing and understand what this hip hop shit has been since its
conception.
Yes. I'm not just talking about rando fans on the internet, bro. Listen, a lot of these fans and a lot of people on the internet, y'all don't even love hip hop like that. You're just fans of an individual. We are having hip hop conversation about something that has literally saved our lives, put food on people's plate.
I want to cut this off. And I know I interrupt a lot when I'm, speaking about any topic, but I do want to point this out because there's a growing discussion and nobody's talking about it. There's a push by a lot of old heads, antiquated media, and irrelevant niggas who claim they're media to try to equate Drake fans as non-hip-hop fans. Let me just say this again. There is a push by a lot of old heads, irrelevant niggas, bums, and wannabe actually influential voices that would want to say Drake fans aren't fans of the culture or...
he's not too far off from that. Most of Drake fans, I'm not going to say most, but Drake does have a lot of fans that are not core hip hop fans. They just like his music. They just like him. They don't like other rappers. They just like his music because, he'll make music for this. He'll make music, he'll make house music, whatever the case may be. But that is true. Not all, but there is a large portion of Drake fans that don't even listen to other rappers. They just listen to him.
For music of hip hop, they're just fans of Drake. Now, I don't know why they start and stop with Drake, because what happens is they'll admit that Drake and what he does at certain times, whether it's a timestamp record or whatever, or when he gets in his rapping bag, he's absolutely an MC. And yes, some of his work does influence what they believe is the culture or conversation around MCing and this and third, but they usually dismiss the large fan base that Drake has, because they're saying those people, they don't have a, they don't have any type of care about the culture or the music. They only care about Drake. Now, the reason why I said I don't know why they started to stop with Drake, because here's the thing. I wouldn't say Travis Scott fans aren't fans of hip hop. The thing is, the problem with people like Ebro is for you to be a fan of hip hop, you have to be a fan of these antiquated people or people of these super puristic, like, wait, you don't like an Alchemist beat? You don't like hip hop? Wait, you don't know a Pharoah Monch album? You don't like hip hop? You don't know this Talib Kweli? No. They create this idea of what hip hop is. It's a snobby way to dismiss folks. Here's my thing. The hip hop that they care about, fans of Future don't give a fuck about, but they wouldn't ever say that to Future, because Future's fans is niggas. They wouldn't ever say this to Young Thug, because most niggas who like and listen to Young Thug don't know half of the shit they're talking about. They stick only with Drake. Why? Drake is biracial. Drake has a large fan base that also involves R&B people or R&B fans, women, non-black or non-ethnic people, and they try to sum up the entire fan base to say Drake fans aren't hip-hop fans. This has to be dealt with and discussed, because it couldn't be further from the truth. This is a way they ignore and avoid conversations. They avoid being wrong on multiple aspects, because they don't want to talk about, they're going to be like, oh, it's just Drake fans. Drake fans aren't fans of hip hop. How not? I went to a Kendrick concert. I showed y'all the crowd. There's a bunch of people in there that just wanted to hear Luther or wanted to hear some mainstream record, or maybe just not like us. They're not a fan of, but every artist, once you get so big, part of a segment of your population or audience only fucks with you in terms of the genre, but the majority, if you came up through rap, fuck with you and the genre.
There's no way you can say if someone only listens to Kendrick, you cannot say, oh, they're not a hip hop fan, because Kendrick is all hip hop. So what you're saying is no relevance, right? Because Drake makes different type of music, right? He'll be reggae, he'll be hip hop, he'll be house music, he'll do electric music, or he'll speak Chinese, or he'll be Caribbean, or so that's why he has the crowd that he has. But you cannot use that and say, oh, well, if people only listen to Future, even who he said, King Slime, what's his name? Young Thug. Those are hip hop artists. They don't make the same type of music that Drake does.
The mere fact that people like Ebro would like to oust only Drake. It's only Drake they say it about. Oh, Drake's fans aren't hip hop. They don't like hip hop. They only like Drake. Sounds like you don't want to have the conversation, but I'll rewind a little bit and let it play.
I'm not just talking about rando fans on the internet, bro. Listen, a lot of these fans and a lot of people on the internet, y'all don't even love hip hop like that. You're just fans of an individual. We are having hip hop conversation about something that has literally saved our lives, put food on people's plates, and is a culture that has been an inclusive culture of all different types of ideas and music and expression and all of these things. So I'm not even talking about certain people. I'm talking about Drake. I'm not talking about people who are fans. I'm talking.
All right, then there's another clip.
For fucking 50 years, man, or plus. Right. Like, we're talking about something that we love and care about. I'm not just talking about comments and fans and fucking trolls and all this other bots and all this other stupid ass shit. We're talking about fucking, and even during the whole rollout. Yeah. And I hate going back to the beef, but guess who keeps bringing the fucking beef up?
Right.
who said we wasn't gonna be talking about this summer, but guess what the fuck we're talking about, man? So we're not supposed to bring that up either?
That's another thing I don't like about these guys. The DJ heads of the world, the Elliot Wilsons of the world, and Elliot, I don't have a problem with you, by the way. Because I mentioned you among these I don't like. What do you call it again? The Ebros of the world. Last year y'all told us Drake was a cancer and a sickness, and y'all were happy that someone else won, and someone else was the new king of hip hop. Yet y'all can't stop talking about the losers' moves. Who gives a fuck if Drake wants to keep focus on it? Y'all said he's irrelevant. Y'all said his reign is over.
Man, shut up, Akademiks, because Akademiks, you even agreed that Drake is the one that's keep talking about this. So shut up, man. Shut up. You even said yourself, the reason why we cannot move on from the battle is partially because of Drake. It's because he keep talking about it himself. So you even agreed. You even had the same thoughts that Ebro had.
Over. It seems like y'all are on his dick. Because here's the thing. Go focus on whatever the fuck Kendrick got going on. Or go focus on this Raekwon or Rayshawn or Raylon beef. Go do that. But y'all don't. Y'all said the nigga got killed. Y'all said he lost the battle. Then y'all are obsessed with him. So it's like he won the battle. Okay, all right, Drake's a so-called loser. Yes, he's sulking. Let him sulk. Why don't you focus on the winner? The reality is this. The reason why Drake can't lose, not the battle, but the war, is because y'all niggas in hip-hop media have nothing else to talk about unless Drake give you a duck lip photo to criticize, give you a canceled tour or canceled couple of dates that y'all can say is flopping, drop a new song that you can say is whack or hot.
Why are you mad? Now, you wouldn't be saying this if this was Kendrick. If this was Kendrick, you'll be covering everything. If Kendrick did 80% of the corny stuff that Drake did, you would be covering all the time. So stop the cap. Stop the blood clot capping, all right? If Kendrick did half of the corny stuff that Drake did, boy, you would have a field day. But he don't. He ain't corny like Drake. So shut up. Drake does this on purpose. I think Drake wants to be talked about because he consistently does corny stuff, or he's just an actual corny person. But shut up.
Or does something that you think is goofy and you're going to comment on. You live on Drake.
Says the biggest Drake dick rider. Says the biggest Drake dick rider. This is funny.
The idea of everything y'all said, why do you give a fuck? If you say he's a sickness to hip hop, why do you give a fuck about what he does? Let me tell you this. You never get to number one in entertainment without your haters being your biggest supporters. These niggas claim Drake lost, but care so much about what he does. Who have you heard say this the most? He need to take a year off. He need to take a year off. He need to take a year off. He need to.
You said it. You said it. You said it.
Why are you so focused on him? I don't see his fans saying that. His fans want more music.
You said that. Nigga, you said that. You said that Drake needs to take a year off.
The people who like him ain't complaining. It's the people who claim they don't like him or claim he's a cancer.
Boy, he's a double talking chipmunk. Boy, you a double talker.
The problem here is this. All of these guys, they like to point the finger, whether Drake or whatever. We're all in media. At the end of the day, one of the reasons why Drake is always good for the ecosystem, Drake gives us shit to talk about. Your favorite artist, he doesn't give you enough music. He doesn't give you enough drama. He doesn't give you clickbait shit. He don't give you enough shit to talk about clearly. Because after he disappears and he goes on tour, you stop talking about him. You then start getting on the guy.
No, I talk about his sold out shows all the time, and those videos get pretty good views. No, Kendrick gives me a lot of good content. Cap, great content.
Who lost the beef, and now you're mad at him because he's still talking about the beef. Why don't you say, what is the winner doing?
I do.
Huh?
I do.
The real reason why Drake won't lose the war is because the people who campaigned against his loss and demise can't seem to find anyone else to replace their insatiable appetite to create headlines, clicks, and conversation pieces. We're going to talk about Drake no matter what. Yo, this last song, is it pop?
Hold on, I gotta end it off right here. Then we're gonna make another video because this one getting too long. But this is DJ Akademiks going off on Ebro because Ebro is saying that Drake fans are not hip hop fans. Y'all leave a comment down below.